Hello, in this video we're going to talk about how to do a free background check in North Dakota. To get started, visit northdakotapublicrecords.org and I'll leave a link in the description. You can click on that or just type it into your browser. You'll notice that there's quite a few databases, public databases on the home page here. Now, a lot of these can be useful depending on what your background check is about. And I'm just going to talk about general things, general databases, everyday things that people can do in everyday lives. Even as something as simple as, for example, checking out a contractor. Let's say you have a big project that you're planning and you're about to put a lot of money into maybe a big remodeling job in your house, and you're looking at a contractor or a business to do this for you. So what you can do, for example, using these databases, and I'll get to criminal records soon, but I just want to show you how you can use some of these things here. So contractor licenses. So you can come in here and you can research a contractor, make sure everything is paid for, make sure everything is legit, make sure there's a real actual license there. No interruptions, see how old it is, how long they've had it for. Another thing you can do is you could research a business the same way. So that same contractor might have an LLC or corporation. So you could, for example, research the business by name as well. Another thing that you could do is you could use court records. And using court records, you can research the business or you can research the individual and see maybe if there are any financial lawsuits that are kind of related to the business. So are there any maybe upset customers from prior years that maybe have taken this individual to court? And so it'll give you a pretty good idea if you want to work with the individual. Is everything legit? Is everything paid for? Is the license real? Or have there been any issues in the past? So before you hand over that a large amount of money for a project, you could potentially look into someone's background using free databases very quickly and figure out if that's something you want to proceed with. So when it comes to background checks, and so as you can see, there are many ways you could do this, but when it comes to background checks, the most sought after record type would probably be the criminal record. And so we are going to look into how a criminal record starts, what the process of it is, and how you can find criminal information for free in North Dakota using state databases. So one of the things, the first thing that happens is when a criminal record is created is somebody gets arrested by the sheriff's department or the police, city police, and so they get charged with some crime and they get booked, taken to jail, and they get fingerprinted, their picture gets taken, and so an arrest, some counties will actually let you research a particular arrest. Now, not every single county does this. It all depends on the sheriff's department. Sometimes you'll have to request this information specifically, but certain counties will let you research arrest information, mugshots, things like that. Sometimes they'll have a database you can use. Sometimes they'll just post a list. And so if you can't find an arrest, it's not a big deal, because what happens during an arrest is they have to go see a judge eventually. And so whenever somebody goes to see a judge, a court document is created. Court documents are considered public record, which means the public has access to those. Now, not in all situations, certain cases are sensitive and those records will not be released, but generally speaking, you can research this information. Now, I clicked on the court records page here, and as you can see, you have multiple courts here: Supreme Court, District Court, Municipal Court, and each of them will deal with different types of cases. So municipal will do like Class B, lower level crimes, traffic. District will do with like felony, which are like more high-end crimes, and then your lower level crimes, juvenile, things like that. So what North Dakota has is they have a pretty centralized system for researching court records. So what you can do is select, for example, a a particular county. Maybe you want to look at a particular county, or maybe you want to search all of North Dakota. So I'm just going to go ahead, select all of North Dakota here, or you could do by district if you want. And I'm going to select criminal and traffic information. And so you're able to research by name, or you can have, if you want to research a business, you can also do business name. So you're able to research by name, and they cover felonies, low level crimes, like all sorts of things that are criminally related. And so you're able to look at criminal background history for free just using this database here, and it's available to the public. So another thing to consider, after they see a judge, they will eventually either be found guilty or not guilty, and so they will maybe pay a fine, or maybe they will have to spend some time. If they have to spend more than 12 months in the sentence is over 12 months, they're gonna go to a prison. If it's under 12 months, it's gonna be a local jail at county level typically. So if it is a prison, you can also look into this database. So the Department of Corrections has a database that you can use to research. All you need is a name, and you can look up any individual. You get a mugshot, quick description, date of birth, and the facility that they're in. So you can see if anybody is located in the prison system as well. So this would be after the court. But typically the court information will give you the most, at least in the state of North Dakota, the court records are probably going to give you the most detailed information compared to the arrest records and, of course, the prison records and things like that. So plenty of databases to use for background checks in the state of North Dakota, where you don't have to pay any money to use. Now I'm going to talk about another database. Now this is a paid database, but it could be a great tool, so I must mention it. And it's a name search on top, and what this does is it pulls not only criminal records, it pulls public records, court records, financial records, real estate information, arrest records, criminal records, and even some private databases like cell phone information, previous addresses, things like that. So some of these can be very useful. And it doesn't just look in North Dakota, it pulls records from outside the state. So if, for example, why is that important? To get more of that nationwide look into someone's past. Well, let's say if somebody is living in North Dakota now, but let's say maybe they have some financial record, maybe a financial lawsuit that's important to see, or maybe a criminal record, and they used to live in, say, North Carolina or Ohio, and now they're living in North Dakota. You're not necessarily, if you're just looking at records in North Dakota, you're not necessarily going to see what happened in North Carolina or in Ohio. So if you want to really expand your search out and cover multiple databases and pretty much do the search instantaneously, save time, it could be a great resource to add to your background checking arsenal. In addition to the free background checking tools you have available from the state and the county. So with that said, visit NorthDakotaPublicRecords.org and get started on your free background check in North Dakota. Thank you.